by, and when you're ready, mate.
About, I don't even know how many years ago I was 14, but wait, 24, dude, 10 years. There you go. No, wait, no, 11 now because I'm turning 25 this year. But yeah, so 14 years old, and funnily enough, it was around this time I had myself a little bit of an accident, and my family, my cousins, were visiting from Sydney, and so we're all surfers, we're all skaters, and so they were staying at Rainbow Place down at Rainbow Bay on the south end of the Gold Coast in Coolangatta, and on the back street behind Rainbow Place, if anyone's been down there, there's this hill, Deba Hill, and we'd spent all like Easter holidays surfing and skating every day. I loved it. It was my outlet for when, I wasn't feeling too great. I could just use that as my escape. And that was, my thing. And I wasn't Kelly Slater or Tony Hawk, but I was good at it. And so, I had an awesome day. Like, waves were fun, weather was perfect, southerly wind, surfing. You couldn't have asked for better. It was fun. It was fun size. Waves for kids like 3-4 foot, pumping. We had all morning, surfed all day, and then went and grabbed lunch at the burger place around the corner. Decided to go for a skate around town, around Cooley, and so did a bit of that. And we thought, getting a bit bored of this. It's all flat ground. Let's try something a bit more thrill-seeky. And so we went to the hill behind the apartment, and we started, skating down that hill so as to manage our speed, so we didn't get death wobbles and come off and crack our heads. Which, I wish I'd stuck to that plan instead of getting, all hopped up and excited to go for another surf in the late afternoon before it got too dark. And this is where my memory kind of gets a bit scattered, because what happened afterwards led to me suffering from post-traumatic amnesia and severe bruising of the brain and internal bleeding, and waking up in Mater Hospital up in Brisbane about 5 days later. So that was a lot of fun, and that adds into context of where this story is going. So I found out, because of the nature of my injury and the trauma that it had on my brain, specifically on the front lobe of my brain, responsible for emotional response and that sort of thing, I was told by my family and everyone that I'd completely changed from who I was emotionally. I got a lot angrier. I was very easily emotionally triggered. I suffered a lot in high school and primary school, just school in general, just with kids just being assholes. And for them to find out that I had a brain injury just adds fuel to the flame of just like more ammunition for them to come at me. You're retarded, you're mentally disabled, or go easy on this guy, he's a bit different. And that didn't help with the anger. And then add that to the fact that my outlet, surfing and skating, I could no longer do for 2 years. And just to be told, no, you can't do that, you're not able to do that. Like, look at me, I'm fucking fine. I'm not, it's not like I've got a broken bone or anything, like, I can do this, just let me go out there and do it. No, we've got to keep you, we've got to keep you safe, we've got to protect you, you're precious now. I had a really shit day at school. I came home and had a big falling out with my mum and dad and my two little sisters, and looking back, I know that they had the noblest of intentions. All they wanted to do was look after me, and none of them had been through anything like that, and no one's quite like me, all the different interests and stuff. It's just hard to understand all this, what has been going on, and like they're not there at school with me to see what I was going through, and it ended up coming to a boiling point where they just left me at home on my own to just cool off. They went out and had dinner at about 6:30, 7:30. I was screaming at them, myself. It just drove them out of the house, and they just went, look, it's better off to just leave this kid alone and just let him cool off. He'll cry or whatever and just go to sleep. I stayed up until about 9:30, 10:30, 11. Time just flew by. I was so angry at myself, at the world, at everyone I couldn't see that everyone just wanted the best for me. They just wanted me to get better and to be, the Kai that they used to know before all this shit went down. And I just couldn't deal with it. I'd lost myself. I was broken. I felt like all the kids at school were right. Like I'm fucked up. I wasn't worth anything. So I went upstairs and I took my dad's dressing gown, put it on, and with dressing gowns they've got those belts. I went downstairs into the garage, grabbed a stool, put the belt around my neck, and tied it to the garage door rail. I stood there for ages. And finally went, fuck it, and stepped off. Either I can't fucking tie a knot properly, or couldn't, or for some reason didn't think, hey, maybe if I just reached up a little bit higher and tied the rope to a more sturdier spot, maybe this would have turned out a bit differently. But no, Kai, you're so retarded you can't even tie a fucking rope properly. So I laid there and cried myself to sleep until my parents and everyone came home, and my dad woke me up and took me up to my bed. And now looking back, I have these mixed emotions of regret, gratitude, and fuck, all I could say is look at me now, I'm still here. That's it.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to press that any further, but
I've reached a point. I did a talk with a friend of mine that I met at work. He did a project about mental health, and big reason why I got into this acting thing and why I felt so drawn to Heath Ledger and what he did with Joker and what ended up happening to him because of what the media said. I don't know what the full story of what happened with him, but I found him as such an inspiration that it's now driven me to the point where it's like, okay, if this guy can inspire me to keep going and to show how far I've come in my journey, maybe, just maybe I can inspire, kids like me, who need those sort of idols, who need something to spur them on to keep going, to find their purpose, to, just be and keep going type thing. That's all I want to do. By telling stories and, showing different perspectives and just saying, hey, you can go through shit and come out on the other side 1,000,000 times better than what you ever thought you could be. That's all I want to do. And that's why I feel confident enough and reassured enough to tell that story. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Can I give you a hug?
Yeah, man.